Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, a Harris administration equals higher taxation. I talked about on Hidden Wealth Radio this weekend how different Kamala Harris's tax policies and proposals are from even sleepy Joe Biden. Now, the one thing, which is the big thing that we clearly saw in these last few days, is not only a lack of transparency, but complete no transparency. You know, when it's somebody comes on and makes a national announcement that it's his patriotic duty, folks, he got shoved out, booted out, kicked out, and basically moved to the curb. And the only thing they had left standing is who was standing as a vice president, because they know that she's sadly worse than Joe, but they'll be able to move her around like the puppet master has done now for almost 4 years with the Biden administration. But here's what makes it worse, folks. What makes it worse is there is definitely higher taxation under a Harris administration. Let me give you a couple examples. Medicare for all, not preserving, even that Joe Biden was looking to preserve, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act for those making under $400,000 to not raise their taxes, to go back to the old pre-Trump tax credit tax rates. The transaction tax. And then last but not least, she was actually talked about in an interview that's all over YouTube now about how a 70 to 80% tax rate is a bold idea that's worth discussing. Now, those are her words. Those are not mine. Well, folks, here's the harsh reality. I'm going to teach this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. I'm going to talk to you about specific examples of what you can do to remove your wealth from this war on our wealth from Washington. And again, whether a Harris administration is successful or not, even let's pray to goodness that Trump gets back in, the bottom line is, folks, taxes are going to have to go up. And I talk about it on Hidden Wealth Radio this weekend. I'm going to give you these examples in just a quick second. 76%, it's approximate now, that 76% of the taxes that get collected, 76% of that's going out to just service our debt interest. Folks, that's not sustainable. There's a really good article out in Bloomberg that I talk about in Hidden Wealth Radio. All of our radio programs are archived at hiddenwealthradio.com, or you can find us on your favorite streaming application under Hidden Wealth Podcast. But 76% of the tax collected is going out. Now, we understand at one point in our country, and I think this goes back to 2010, 2011, there was about 2.8 people for every, basically pulling the wagon for every person in the wagon. Now we're getting closer to that 1-to-1 ratio. Well, here's the other harsh reality I talk about. In about 6 years, it's projected we'll have more people aged 65 than those aged 18. First time in our country's history. So far few people paying into the tax system and far more people leaving the tax system. In fact, there's more people turning 65 this year than any other year in history, and will set those records between now and through 2027. Folks, you work hard for your money. retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. Here's the strategies I'm going to teach, and I'll leave you with this. How to use tax credits and tax deductions. We have a couple clients. I'll give you quick examples. If you've filed an extension and you paid high taxes, or you projected high taxes, you paid in April to extend your taxes to be paid in October, you can get those back with these tax credits as long as they're in circulation, right? There's only so many that they put out there. I also have a client that converted almost approximately $1 million of IRA to Roth before we met them. And we're using one particular tax credit program, to basically use that program to zero out the tax liability that increased because of converting $950,000 of IRA to Roth. But I also think of clients that are selling their business. For you boomers, you business owners, maybe you're divesting out of real estate, using these credits as well as deductions to zero out the tax on the sale of your highly appreciated assets, stocks, real estate, a business. But many of you are using it to just eliminate your income. In fact, many of you have referred your adult children that have high incomes, and you're already retired. So we're helping you prevent leaving a big tax obligation to them with inherited IRAs by getting those from IRA to Roth. And we're helping them to be able to basically save otherwise redirected taxes towards their own retirement to retire sooner and tax-free. Folks, you work hard for your money. A much higher taxation under a Harris administration. Why even run the risk? Remove your wealth from the war from coming on our wealth from Washington. retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. taxation.com.